Give ourselves those 5 minutes of a grace period. Person before them worked hard, and they worked hard to get it from them. So this course is not for you if you don't possess a passion or a deep love for what you do. You must have the desire to do the work and to move to the next level and stop playing small. If you are the CEO, you are the brand. Everything about you is the brand. Just like that visualization, from how your hair looks, the color of your hair, how you put on your makeup, how you don't put on makeup, the kinds of clothes you wear or not. Do you have your nails painted? Don't. What is the texture of your skin? All of that counts as your brand. Why? Because you are your brand. How do you take care of yourself? Do you take care of yourself? That's the same way that you will treat your brand, your business. I remember Mary saying one time, what you do for one thing, you do for all things. So how you
How you
start.
do one relationship is how you do all your relationships.
So the relationship with you matters. As we've been learning now more and more, especially because of the situation of COVID, everything starts with you. Everything revolves around you. So when you're first starting out, or if you're trying to expand on somebody else's brand, it starts with you. So let's get started with the branding elements. The definition and goals of branding. Brands are created in the mind. Remember how we just started and I said, just visualize, just think for a moment. I didn't give you a specific person. I asked you to create that person. It's the same way with the brand. You create the brand and it starts in your mind. But it isn't just marketing and pretty logos and websites, PR and advertising. Branding is everything that's tangible and emotional. The vision, the values, the senses, the psychology, the spirituality, the creativity and innovation. Yet it is so much more. The goal is to create an unforgettable brand. What does that mean actually? You want to build a loyalty so strong and a brand that's so recognizable and so memorable that your clients dream about you. They cannot forget you even if they tried. When a client hears your brand name or it hears your brand's jingle, dun, 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 or it holds your brand's product in their hands, or they experience your brand's service, they should feel and know that you're giving them excellence. This experience is not going to leave them wondering about any other competitor because all they could think about, brag about, talk about, and all they want to buy is you and your brand. And this is the goal.
So on the flip side of that, because it's like two sides of one coin. So the same way Juju was like, okay, pick a person, imagine them. So when we think of our clients, right? What does your favorite client look like? What is it like to work with them? How do they dress? How do they sound? How do they make you feel? Where do they hang out? And again, it's both sides. Your clients loving you and you loving your clients. Okay. Um, what about them do you adore? And I think that that's, because again, why working somebody and it's like, oh God, I gotta go to work with them today. Nobody wants that, right? So let's really think about that and, give ourselves reminders, really get detailed, like Juju said. That's my 2 cents for right now. Kai has 2 cents.
I'm curious, Miss Guzman and Tia Alcala, as Juju would say. Where are you guys? Where are you guys with your brands? What does it look like right now? I'm so curious to hear from y'all. Pati? Tia?
I wasn't sure if Patty was gonna go first. I'm redoing mine. I have someone working with me. I actually meet with her tomorrow to work on my branding for my doula business and my products, because I was gonna separate them, but I don't want to have too many different businesses out there like that because I already have a couple anyways. So I'm just focusing on trying to get them all underneath one umbrella.
And how does that roadmap look like? Because I didn't think that for a minute that you guys thought I was just gonna go through slides.
My roadmap is I already have my initial logo, so I'm working around that in the colors. Like I'm not sure if you're supposed to keep everything like I was told supposedly like you're supposed to have the same fonts and the same color scheme throughout everything you do. So right now I'm working on picking colors for my my website and stuff like that, because the way my logo is right now when I try to upload it, it's like kind of blurry or whatever, so we're working on fixing that.
Absolutely. Consistency is a must, you know, but it's not something that you should be going crazy about, you know, as far as every single font, the major ones, you know,
Okay.
your name, some certain titles, certain phrases that you're going to use. Just think about Coca-Cola. You know, my greatest example that I like to share is Apple. You know, Apple has an awesome message. I mean, just when you heard of Apple, did you think about an apple in the grocery store?
No, you thought about the computer. You thought about
Ah,
you thought about the Mac.
ah.
Kids today, they know 1,000 brand symbols, but they can't tell you 10 plants.
So they did an amazing job. It's absolutely true. You know, when Steve Jobs and his team was putting it all together, you know, they broke it down. Apple, what kind of apple? It was originally Macintosh. Then they broke it down to the Mac. Everybody, the Mac is not come to the Mac. You know, whatever that song is, it's not that. He knew what he was doing. And how about his magnetic message? You know, it's just a few words, but it gets the audience going. And this is what his message is. Apple's magnetic message is a great example. Just think about it. This is it. This is it. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed and user friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one?
Everybody wants a Mac. Can they afford it?
That wasn't his question though. He said, do you want to buy one? Because the presence being so strong, you're going to do everything you got to do. Beg your mom, save Santa's Christmas money, whatever it is to go get that Mac, if that's what you want.
And then we have to think about, again, branding, marketing, things like that. Where do people do their things? So, okay, Lambo. Have you ever noticed that there are no Lamborghini commercials? Why is that? Because people who can afford Lamborghinis don't watch TV. Okay, they are not wasting their time watching TV because they got Lambo money to make. And it ain't in the television that's sucking them in and getting them in a bad headspace. And so this is why it's really important for our branding. It's important to ask some questions. And the first part of that is clarity around your gift. What do I do? Write that down. Okay, Juju does slides. I make you use a notebook. And preferably white paper with blue ink. Thank you. Anything you write down, you go from 0 to 42% of achieving just by writing it down. I'm taking that hit. I'm taking that lead. I'm taking the 42%. Okay. So the first question, what do I do? Get clear about it. What do you do? Okay. We have to be able to do our elevator pitch. And what is it, 30 seconds? Is that what it is? 30 seconds is the elevator pitch? Okay.
Really, with the way that technology is going right now, you got 5 to 10. You
Yeah.
got to
People
catch
don't have
that.
long attention span. They really don't.
Not especially now since COVID, that everybody's virtual. You got really 3 to 7. You're pushing it 10 to 15.
Okay. Second question. Who are the gorgeous souls I do this for? Okay. That's really important, and if we're talking to everyone, we're talking to no one because our message is too scattered. And we may have a lot of gifts, but we really have to distill down into the essence of who we truly are at our core, authentically. And so, what are we bringing? You know? Third question. What do those gorgeous souls get from my gift? Okay. And Juju is making sure I understand what my gorgeous souls get from my gift. She's not letting me forget what I give my clients because for some strange reason, there's something wrong with me and I can't understand what I do. I just do what I do and I just do that and that's it. And yeah. And so she is constantly reminding me. And when things go really crazy and I'm like, the world is ending, Juju. Help. She's like, ¿Qué? Have you lost your mind? Okay. And this is why. And it's like crazy because it is. It's right there. There is no reason except for we're all healing and we're working through trauma that doesn't allow us to see that we are gifted, that we are divine, that we are talented. And we're here to do a very special thing. And the cool thing about what we do, guess what? You can't copyright lactation. You can't copyright chakras. You cannot copyright the reproductive system. The only thing that we get to do is put our own flecos on it, our own streamers, and tell it in the voice that we tell it, because there's someone looking for our voice. And then it's crazy because you never know who that is. You never know who that is. And then they find you. They find you on some abstract video somewhere, and they find you. And that's how it goes. Um,
Absolutely. We're a whole bunch of wild women.
that's right.
Seriously, that have lost their way because they made us lost our way. They took our map away. But what I see with all the powerful beings around me, first of all, I have to start off like this. I 100% believe and know that I am a powerful being. I know that I manifest the things that I have. And those that are in my immediate circle must be powerful beings because I don't attract anything less. And if I do attract anything less, is lower vibrationals that want what I have. And they don't know no other way but to stack up like crabs and try to pull me down, just to be real. So if you're in my inner circle, I might have some issues with you. You might get on my nerves and stuff like that. But I have to remind you, Mary, I have to remind you that you focus so much on all the targets that you missed. Just picture a beautiful warrior with bow and arrow, and you're shooting all these arrows, but you don't look at how many times you hit that bullseye. You don't look at how many times you hit the target. You worry about all the other arrows that are scattered, and then you want to go run and pick those up so that way you can shoot again. And it's like, no, honey, look at the board. You hit the target here, you hit the target there, you hit the target here. And that's what your tribe does. Your tribe reminds you, yeah, we got flaws, and we're
And
body. Yeah, we have issues. Yeah, we're gonna go through stuff. Yes, we're gonna make mistakes. We do that, and we are our brand. So what does that say? No, we're not gonna get it right the first time with our brand. And if we do, natural talent is almost like that bow and arrow, and you shoot it for the first time, talking about beginner's luck. So thank you for that, Mary. Thank you for that reminder in me, and I hopefully continue to give that to you and to Kai and to Tika, because that's what it is. This is all about leveling up for real. We're not girls anymore. You know, we're women, and what they say, women empower other women. Well, the right women, right?
That's right.
Because we still have women that are girls, and we're here to change this world. Thank you, Mom.
Fourth question.
Patty.
You're most
Ooh,
West. Go ahead.
Patty. How's your brand looking?
I don't know yet. Good morning. I don't know yet. I'm figuring that out slowly but surely. And it's a little bit of a slower process, but I'm just easing into it and not wanting to rush only because, when I do it, I like to do it one time, and it could be revised and touched up and improved upon and all that kind of thing. But I think early on with other ideas and ventures, I was like, oh, this is a good idea. Let me just go do it. And, oh, this name or this thing or this, party planning, wedding planning, all these different iterations of ideas. And then it just kind of goes to the wayside. So I think with this now, fast forwarding, I'm on my second career in life, and I finally got to where I wanted to be, in terms of training. So then I just want to package it properly. And there's so much out there. It's just overwhelming. And I just think it lends to the overwhelm. There's just so much of the same too, because right, we're not reinventing the wheel, like Meride said. This is where we've been birthing and breastfeeding since the beginning of time. Nobody owns that. It's more about like what we're providing and how we're providing it. And to be honest with you, I'm still trying to, I know what I do and I'm happy to do it, and I do it and I do it all day, but I'm not quite sure yet exactly how I want to frame it. And I figure I just,
Como
right,
empaquetarlo.
right, I just got nothing but time right now to figure
And
that out.
just like
A little bit of
Juju's
time.
saying, not that you have to have everything together right now, but what targets have you hit so far? What are the things that you're working with so far?
Well, you know what, I think because I work in a clinical environment, I was thinking it more from that perspective, and that's fine, right? Because that's what's there every day, that's in place. But I think in our conversations, I have come to terms that when I go independent, because I will, it needs to be simpler. It just needs to be straightforward and simplifying. I think I'm in that process right now. It's not perinatal care consultant because nobody's going to look for that because nobody knows what that is. That's what it is.
That's why. So fourth question, what makes my thing different from everyone else? So you know how people make, like you work for a corporation, but your niche is a little different and you end up creating a position for yourself within.
Right.
So as doulas, and I'm going to compare this, people still don't know what doulas are.
Right.
Okay. So perinatal consultant, que es eso? Do a 2-minute video, please. That's your homework for this week.
Okay.
And again, this is not anything that you have to share. Si no quiere, practico.
I put it out there, and I put little things out there just to see and test. And I've been a little gun shy with all I think the social media. I don't like it. I like this, right? I like this. Thank you. Because if it wasn't for you guys inviting me to do the community and the panels and stuff, I probably would still be sitting there like, how do they do that? So getting the experience little by little, but I'm so hesitant. I don't want to get on Facebook Live or TikTok or whatever and I want to do no video. And I know I could do it for myself. Your suggestion is to just do it for yourself once. I'm just like, I don't know about
Seriously, you do a private YouTube channel. It's just for your view, right?
Mm-hmm.
And topic by topic about the things that you cover and keep them short because now you're amassing your stuff for your class. Y cuando estás ready, you know what? Maybe you don't have to go to Facebook. You know what I mean? You get your class out there and you find different ways to promote and advertise. Maybe IE directly to the people that you're working with because we find most often in business, it's word of mouth.
Right.
Okay.
UPS taught us that. Another brand. UPS made it big, word of mouth. And I used to work for them, word of mouth. Just recently, they had to do commercials because the freight was giving them competition on delivering their packages. So they have to let everybody know that Brown does it. Brown does it. Brown does it. But getting back to what Meride says, and she could tell you, because her and I had numerous conversations, you know, and I'm sure her and Kai had numerous conversations about her doing video. And it's like, mama, just do it. Even if you just rolled out of bed, just do it. And the reason why I say that is because you might just be enlightened that moment, that you woke up with a message from your dream that you want to share, because that's where we resolve our dreams in a dream. And you might have just woken up, you know, and it's like, oh, I got to get this off.
Literally just woke up.
Literally. And it's not something that you can immediately grab on and write on paper, but you have your voice. You know, maybe you cannot put it on video, but you could put it on some kind of recording just as you're in there. And the reason why I say that is because inspiration comes and goes. And sometimes if you don't catch it, you'll miss that first message. I have this thing with firsts. You'll miss that first message. And although it might not seem great to you, there are things in technology that can make it great. We can fix the voice. We can take out the video. We can put an avatar in place of you. You know, if this is something that you want to use as a learning tool, or like that movie, what's his name? Mars, that he did all those videos. He felt like he was on that planet by himself. But maybe if somebody gets these videos, you know, they'll know my journal, what I've been through. And it helped his sanity. It helped him pass through the days that although he was alone, he didn't feel alone. So this is the beginning stages on how you start to speak out publicly without getting the nervousness, because you're going to talk about it so much. You're going to talk about it to yourself so much that it's like, I got this information down. And then your message changes, because that's when you tweak it. I sound too much like what they say in the hospital. This doesn't have enough of me in it. The hospital says it like this, but for me to make it personal, I'm going to say, you know, personable. I'm going to say it like that. And another thing too that I want to mention is these titles. I'm one, and I'll tell you, I'm not one to be dropping titles, but I've been corrected on this journey a couple of times, and I have to listen to spirit. I don't want to drop titles for the simple fact that when I say, oh, I'm a full spectrum, holistic, certified, trauma informed, perinatal, the message gets lost in the sauce for the ones that I'm trying to reach. And honestly, that was my thought in the beginning. And what spirit taught me was like, okay, give them the title, give them this big elaborate title, and then break it down for them so they could understand what that means exactly. Because then you're elevating them up to learn. Because if I keep making it simple for you, it's like me feeding you baby food. You're never going to graduate to the next level. So yes, I might throw something at you. This is the title, like, ha,
Oh,
ha,
you mean
ha,
that's
ha.
like Kaid teaching us how to fish?
Please tell me more.
So on the back end of our technical, I don't remember what we were working on, but it was essentially, I could do it for you, but if you learn, it's much better. And StreamYard, right? No, was it StreamYard? I don't even remember.
And what an amazing, invaluable gift that is. You know, when she said those words, that's almost like wrapping up a Christmas present, right? You want to get dope packaging, you want to put a bow on it. Well, for some of them I don't, but still, you know, you want to make it all pretty. And it's like, look at this beautiful gift that I'm giving. It's so valuable. Here you go.
Indeed. And I love what you're saying, Juju, to, you know, provide the titles. And also, this is your chance to edit, like which ones are actually relevant. I could tell you about my degree in architecture, or I could tell you about my training in pre and postnatal movement while I was a personal trainer. You know, which one is actually relevant to this space?
And in this work, we're going to occupy a lot of spaces. So it's good to have that in practice. It's almost like, you know, with my index cards, you know, I start writing certain things down, and if it doesn't feel right for me, I don't just necessarily discard it, you know, into the garbage. I just discard it out of my thinking bank for right now. But I have it there available just in case it might fit in another space. It didn't work for this, but it'll work for that. It's almost like, you know, when you get dressed to go out, you know, those dress up shoes will go great for this event, but it's a little too much for that event. The same thing with your dress. You know, the sparklies is amazing for that event, but it's not enough for this event, you know? So That's what it is with the brand. The most important advice I can give you is to focus. Define your target, your market as specifically as you can. In those areas, you need to be specific, because it's almost, think about it. If somebody needs to reach you, and this is why I love my friends, and I have to say this lovingly. I love my friends that are picky. I love my friends that know what they want, because they're the ones that help me with this, the get specific. If you want to reach me, this is how you got to come at me. This is what you got to offer. This is what you got to say. This is what you got to look like. Because if you're coming to me looking like some booger bum, it's not happening. My attention is off. I'm not even looking at you. Whatever you got to offer me, I think it's going to be crappy. I don't think that it's going to be of value. And I'm sorry. Maybe that's not how you are internally, but that is what you gave me. It's the same thing with the brand. And then on the flip side, I also have to be mindful that there are those that starting from the bottom, and we never want to crush anybody's dream. Once upon a time, I was homeless, and once upon a time, I was in a shelter. And I only had the money that they gave me, which wasn't much. And I always had this dream of doing my business. So I had to work with where I was at. Sometimes I did cut out letters. You remember that back in the days, from like the Zodiac killer guy, you cut out the letters from the newspaper and you make your message and you put it out there. Ooh! Talk about grassroots. And I only say that, just to put, do some comedy relief, so we're not always so focused. We got to make things fun. But you got to start with where you are. And if that's what you have, start with that. I remember using brown paper bags, and that was my flyer. And then I cut out the newspaper clippings and the magazines, and I did a collage, and I put that on there. And then I had some markers, and I used that, and boom, there I had my first party flyer. What kind of a party people were coming to, I don't know, because the only one that was in the party was me at the time.
Oh no.
But I knew that I was great company. And I knew that if I had people in my circle and I would have them understand my current situation, that they would help me grow where I was in that part of my business. So I invited two friends. You want to come party with me? They thought it was cute that I gave them a little paper bag, little flyer thing. And they came to my space. And my space, because when you're in a shelter, you don't have a space. Your space is that dining room, that diner with the coffee. And as we sat there, I let them know where I was at. And that's all part of branding, because I was selling them me. Everything about me, even though my packaging at the moment wasn't all that great. And they invested in me. And I'm not talking about a huge investment. One was able to give me $10. Another one was able to give me $20. And with those $30, I was like, what am I going to use for me? What am I going to use to step it up a little bit in my business? I was like, at that time there was Kinko's. I don't know if anybody remembers Kinko's these days, but I was like, I can make an amazing flyer with Kinko's with the same very paper bag that I had. I could just make it look even prettier. And you level up where you are. But if you're already at the level where you do have some kind of budget, where you already been brainstorming, you start there and you don't sell yourself short. You reach out for your greatness. Think of it for yourself. If somebody came to you with a bar of soap and they want to sell you this bar of soap, they want to offer you this bar of soap, and I want you to use this soap and no other soap in the whole wide world. But that soap looked like some mechanic ran his hands through it. And you're like, what is this?
You're like, eek.
First, are you the type of person to give them an honest opinion so that way they can grow? Be like, listen, it doesn't look all that great. It looks like or are you the type to say, oh, that's nice. Yeah, maybe some other time. And you leave that person there. Or you let them know, listen, that's not for me. What I need is, and it needs to be packaged and delivered XYZ. It's all part of branding.
One amazing thing about branding is that when you do establish your, let's say, your color scheme and your typography and what your general style looks like, what's great is that you become recognizable. Like for instance, if you see that little tree logo that we have for Beso and you see it, I don't know, you're in another space and you just happen to see that tree, you'd be like, oh, is that Beso? And you might take another, like look closer. And that's what you want to do with your brand. You want people to just like to be able to recognize you, even if they just see part of it. It's like, oh, it's pink and white and black. That must be Victoria's Secret, or that must be, whatever. But you start to become part of the subconscious of the person who is out there in the consumer world, who's out there and searching Facebook or searching the internet. One thing about Juju is that, for instance, if you heard "Good morning," I would be like, "Oh, is it Birth Community Podcast?" Like that's where my mind goes because Juju has brilliantly branded herself and her voice. So that's what you're aiming for, to just be recognizable, to have people have you in the back of their mind so that when they're out there looking, they're actually looking for you.
Just that. What made you think? What did that make you think? Does anybody know?
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street.
Right?
Wasn't
Perfect
watching
for branding. And then when you think of Sesame Street, the first one that you think about is the what?
Big Bird.
Big Bird. And then you work on all the other characters. The same thing with your branding. When Sesame Street first started, they focused all around Big Bird. Then you know that there's others. You know there's Rosita, but before her was what? Cookie Monster.
I just went Sunny Yellow.
Right? See, they introduced the sun to you. Then Cookie Monster, they introduced the sky to you. Blue. Then you got Elmo, and then all the other ones. Rosita and Zoe. And then they started adding. It's the same thing with your brand. Once you get the first part of it right, and it feels comfortable, and it's not right like 100%. It's comfortable with you, that is representing the vision that you have and the feel that you have for the target market that you're looking to address. And you're not for everybody, like Meriday said. You have to find those tribes of people. And the thing is that it could even be, like I explained with my personal story, it could just be two people. But those two people believe in you so much that they help you grow. And it's the same thing like we tell our kids, right, with the $2. Save those $2, because $2 become $4, become $8. It's the same thing with your tribe. Because some people are truly innovative that they are the only ones in their tribe. They have to convince all the others as, hey, this is awesome, this is great. And then it's like a couple of people. And before you know it, when other people speak, because they're so excited about it for you, wildfire. That's where we see certain brands that we didn't even know that they even existed blow up. Start simple. There is no such thing as competition. There is, but there isn't. Don't think, I'm looking at Fulana, Susie BQ over here, and she's doing this, this, and this, and this, and this. But how well is she doing it? Because you can have a whole bunch of stuff, but is it going to sustain, throughout time? And that's what you want to build. You want to build something that fluctuates, shifts, and changes with the time, because you're growing with the time, but that's going to last. It's very, very easy to build something that's for the now. The next hot thing. We've seen it. Oh, yeah, that's the latest trend. That's the latest. How long is that gonna last? And we both know 8 out of 10 times, not even, forget, I'm lying, 9.5 out of 10, it ain't gonna last. What shocks you though is when you think that it's not gonna last and it actually lasts. You're like, ooh, they were here a little bit longer than I thought. ¿Y qué es eso? ¿Y why? And how come? Look at, and that's only you, one person that you think that way. Subconsciously, probably. You probably don't speak it out loud, but you thought it. Imagine how many other people. It's the same thing with your brand.
Juju, you want to pop up the next slide?
Can I say something before we move on? Um, just in terms of the longevity, I think what it is too is that having had a marketing background, I know that even if I don't want to notice things, and even if it starts subconscious, I'm always like consciously evaluating. And just because there's so much more competition now online in the virtual environment, and people are using programs, so much of everything looks the same to me, even if it's appealing and it's nice and it's soft. But I'm like, I can tell, I'm like, oh, this one is similar to this one, is similar to that one, and they're all using the same look. And it's such a part of my issue, a barrier, is that I feel I'm a little like jaded from a marketing perspective. Plus, I do a lot of this for work, for our groups and our events and things. So I'm used to going, I know the steps, going through the motions, all the things, picking the name. It was just easier to do it for work. I find it harder to do for me. And I don't know why that is. Like for my mental block, I don't know what it is. So I think that's my challenge. That's where I could use some help, is how to overcome being overcritical and the mental block, because it's mine. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Kai. You want to hit that one? Because I live with someone that does that. And I'm the comedy relief. But go ahead, Kai.
I hear you 100%. Coming from similar boat, even in architecture, everyone had like the lines. It was all super clean. And then I spent 5 years as a celebrity publicist, and I was like, oh, this is next level. Now all of my stuff has to look like this too. And I'm revealing all the hats that I wear, but also as a personal trainer. I was like, oh wow, I need to look this way. As a former bodybuilder, I need to look this way. And then I had a breakthrough, and that breakthrough was, despite all of the experience that I had, I can still ask for help. Because I was like, oh, I'll just create myself a meal plan and exercise workouts for the next 6 months, and I'll be back in shape. But I had that same block when it came to myself. I was like, am I pushing myself too hard? Am I taking it too easy on myself? I don't know. I asked for help. I got myself a personal trainer. I have myself a nutritionist. And what I get to do is I get to add my knowledge onto that. I get to ask informed questions. I get to have the perspective of knowing, the landscape that I've already been exposed to. And one of my mentors had a really amazing phrase that I remind myself of. And she said that you cannot excel to a level to which you have not yet been exposed. So it's a gift that you've been exposed to all of these great things, and you can use that energy for you instead of against you. And if you need some help, that's okay. So the key is to start and to be consistent. The thing that's missing most of the time out there is authenticity. So if you can just start there, then all of the rest of it will fall into place, in my opinion.
That's also the thing about experience as well, is that, okay, I learned it this way. And oftentimes what I find about that is that I learn a lot of things, but not everything is adhered to the letter, because some stuff really fits and works and then stuff doesn't. But, consistency is one of those things that you have to do it every day for it to become ingrained. Really getting into that place of starting where you are with what you have and holding space for yourself. Because if we're just beating ourselves about not getting it right, that's where we see all these different disorders come from. We are like literally flagellating ourselves and we haven't even begun. And so it's just very important to sit in that space. Who are you? Because again, it's like we have all this external, it's like You know, kids are imprinted from the moment they come out of the womb, religion, how you eat, everything that they do. So we're no different. We've been imprinted all over the place, and we're breaking out of that imprint and learning who we are at the core for that authenticity. Okay. And then the thing about being authentic, then it's don't talk like that because you're going to offend somebody. So you're encouraged to find your voice, but then when you do, somebody is uptight about it, but that's on purpose. Okay. Because what happens when people bring you objections? You're not for everybody. You could be the sweetest peach in the bunch, and somebody is going to be like, peaches are nasty. So what, you don't be a peach no more? Because somebody said peaches are nasty? No, you keep being the sweetest peach.
And then I put a sticker on me because I'm going to be that peach with a sticker.
I got
so I
the
can
organic
differentiate
sticker
myself
on
from
me.
the other peaches.
I got the organic sticker on me, you know. And that's the thing, who we are matters. Where we're living within ourselves. You know, we often think of, you know, the house as the house that we live in. We are the house. You know, so how are we living in our house, and really standing in a place of power of, this is who I am, this is my message. Not everybody's going to like it. I may get some pushback. How do I deal with pushback? So in sales, they always teach you, pretend that you're on a plane, right? And you're sitting in your seat and you're all comfy, and here comes homegirl with her car, and she's like, coffee or tea, you know, or, you know, whatever. Usually it's coffee or tea, right? You don't want coffee, you want tea, or maybe you don't want either, but you're not rejecting the stewardess. You're rejecting the offer that she's making you. So that's the same thing for us. They are not rejecting us, they're rejecting our offer. So now we have to look at our offer again. Was it clear? Is this the right client? Because now we got to talk about vetting clients. Okay, so there's a lot of different things happen, but the more clear we are calling the people that are for us to us.
I like being in the middle of both of these two beautiful ladies over here. This one over here reminded you about authenticity. This one over here reminded you about consistency. And I'm going to tell you, be consistently authentic with you. That's where it starts. Not really. No, I'm lying. I'll take it back. It starts with imitation. Because like Maraday said, when we're little, we've been printed with all these things. So we imitate. We walk around half of our life wondering who we are, what we are. So yes, imitation is a form of flattery, but it's to a certain point, right? Because as you're imitating, you're discovering what you like about it and what you don't like about whatever it is that you're imitating. What is a part of you, what will become a part of you, and what is not a part of you, until it becomes something that's authentically you. And because that there is nothing new under this sun, I don't care what a human says, I believe what the Almighty says. There is absolutely nothing new under the sun. I don't care if it was new to your ears or to your side of the globe. There's nothing.
If you were today old when you found out.
You know, so all of it belongs to us. All of it connects us to each other. You just need to find out what you are comfortable with and brings you the most absolute joy and bliss in the ways that it represents you. That when somebody thinks Patricia, and it's like, well, she's like this, and she's like that, and she's like this. It could be both positive and negative, right? Because being on point could be negative to somebody else because you get on their nerves, right? But being on point could be amazing to somebody else because you get it down. You have this etiquette. You do it a certain way that is classy, with grace. It's thorough. That's how you defined you in your brand. When you look at all the stuff que se te pegó, you know, from being in the hospital, and it's a beautiful thing because now you have this knowledge, you have this network, you have this experience. Then you slowly, okay, well, that was nice for them, but it's not for me. That's great to represent them, but this is not the way that I'm being represented. And that's how you shed that little by little, but it takes practice because it's like a broken record. You already know where there's a cut on that record. You know, you have to jump over that line. And that's how you become your own authentic self with your brand. That's when you say, you know what, this I created might have the same information that is out there, but it's different because I'm saying it.
That's right.
And another thing too, we need to realize with this
Put
world,
your
in este
own
mundo
freckles on it.
that's going on, the level of the way that people learn and the level of how people believe in themselves or not is very, very small. That's why we have, as we say from back in the day, the same old, same old. It's the same old because people have not believed in their own creativity, but they'll copy you. People have not believed in their own methods of learning. So they're going to learn from you and then regurgitate everything else that you said to them as, this is me as a professional. But they're professionally that other person. They're not authentically themselves. So we just need to be mindful of that, because sometimes I walk around, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the same thing. It's like, where's your creativity, dude? Like, dang, you just sound like fulana de tal from down the block, you know? And it could be in another language. It's the same thing. There's nothing new. There's nothing new other than the authentic you. Your fingerprint, different like snowflakes, right? Your hair, even each individual hair is not the same. When you discover that and you feel comfortable with that and you believe that, you already know that's a unique you. That's why the name of my business is called Why to Be Unique. Why to be unique? Because there's only one you. There's only one you. Your brand is you. You are your brand. There could be similarities, but there's nobody like you. You're on mute.
I need a miniature Judy to carry with me all the time. I need you. You're gonna be my angel. Which shoulder is it? Right, left? I think right shoulder, right? You're gonna be like right shoulder.
Well, it depends.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. I needed to hear that, all of it, and I don't know it. It's all perspective, right? And I'm like, also, like, it's in my nature. I like to go against the grain. I don't like to follow. I don't like to be the same.
So
So
this
with
is
a lot
I
of
just
sameness, it
posted,
even repels me a little bit. Like, I don't want to do that.
literally, I just posted, every now and again, you will feel a dull ache in your soul, a gentle humming around your heart, a longing for something without a name. If I ever told you to obey anything, this would be it. Listen to the call of your authentic self, that part of you that lives just outside of your own skin. Let it have its way with you. I've died 100 times trying to ignore it.
Mm, that's beautiful. I'm gonna look
Absolutely.
for it.
May I have a time check, please? I didn't want to
1207.
do. I'll just share the screen so you can see the slides real quick, but I'm really not a slidey person. Ah, here we talk about, be a visionary. And that all comes to the conversation that we just had. You know, you have to have that vision. If you truly want to build a brand and be seen as a genuine expert and the go-to person in your industry, you need to exude everything about your industry in a commandable and a memorable way. And I go to say that, exude everything about yourself in that industry, not just your industry. The color, style, and look. What does your brand look like to the eyes? All of those things matter. But if you don't take care of yourself and you're not confident in yourself, will you even open up your eyes to see these things? Or will you always have your eyes cast down? It's another thing to think about. We
And
already
then
spoke.
also with that list though too, pick one at a time. You know what? Everybody can secure their domain name right now. Because if you don't secure it, somebody else may take your nombre. So that is something that you can do right now. It costs you about $12, depending on the name that you want. Es baratito. So go through that list. What are the things? If you already have social media username, check, great. Do you have a tagline? Avatar is that the little cartoony figure? Is that what they mean when they say that? No? Kai, help?
Avatar is referring to either your character or your ideal client.
Okay. Aha. See? And then the other things, that's really about your website, fonts, colors, website, logo. But if you have a business card, you know, if that's all you got right now, you start from there. Start playing with your business card, because you know what? You print out 100, 200. Kaka, I hate the way this looks. Boop. And it does, you know, you give them out. And then now you get to redo a new business card. These are, let me see. This took me a while, you know, but I got a glossy photo done, you know, and then had my info put on the back. That's my Venmo code. But I put my little information, but this came out of some business cards that I did. So there's definitely different ways where you can play with, ay, que color que yo gusta. What shapes and symbols and designs resonate with me? Use Vistaprint. It's really cheap, $9.99. You'll get cards, you use them. When they're done, guess what? I hated those. I want to do again.
And FYI, my branding changes all the time. Like I'm constantly evolving things. Oh, I printed my business card this year. I already got things that I want to add to it or that I want to, you know, refine on it. It's always evolving, as it should be. You're always evolving and expanding.
You know, and then also there's like our IDs too, you know, making sure that you have an ID for the hospital. Okay, and so these are different things. You got to get a logo, a little something. The one that's in my car, they sent me proofs, but I have one that has my CLC certificate on the back. I was actually able to shrink it down and I put it on the back of my ID. So when I walk into the hospital, I walk, you know, I got a lanyard around my neck with this around. But again, this is not my actual logo. But you know what? It is what it is for now. My actual logo was something different and it was too light and it was so small on the thing, you couldn't see anything. So I had to come up with something else that was visible and legible. So I did.
You get that done, Merida, the ID.
Tag you're it. Tag you are it. If you find it on Facebook, they were great. They were so amazing. You know, somebody else had done it in one of the groups and it was for her CLC. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wepa, and they were amazing to work with. They worked with me until I got it exactly right. And I was very happy with the outcome.
That's nice. I like it. Thank you.
Thank you for all of that. You know, and all of this is to remind you, you know, always deliver more than it's expected, and you will be remembered for it. Create a brand that will stand the test of time. Create an unforgettable brand that confirms your excellence, your authentic you. Excellence.
Okay. And it's time. It goes by fast.
Hi.
Tito, she just made it. Hi, Chula.
The time difference. Does she know our clocks went forward?
No.
She may not have known that.
Good point.
And that's in the US, right? The daylight savings is only in the US.
Yes.
Hi, Aman.
Hi, Aman. We forgot we have daylight savings time. So we went an hour ahead today or yesterday. I don't even remember. It's been awful. It happened and it's just the time was already going by fast and now it's going by faster. We're on hyper speed.
Did you see her calendar that she made? She's making some nice calendars.
I saw that on the Facebook. It's gorgeous. But yeah, yo soy lenta. I'm already slow. I can't change my calendar. That'll throw me off, but it's gorgeous. I love the concept. I should get it for my daughter.
Her creativity, I mean, we all have it. And that's what we were just talking about before. A lot of people don't believe that they have it. That's why we see the same old, because you can take that one thing and make it your own, and it's something totally different. There was this girl, I believe it's Kai's cousin. I thought that I was a badass with avocado seeds. I'm growing them, I'm doing this. She sculpts in them. She sculpts in them. When I started, I was like, holy smokes. That's a different thing to do with an avocado seed. I'm over here thinking I'm dope, and I am. But I'm like, ooh, inspiration, inspired. And this is the way that we need to see things. I forgot. Someone else taught me of another word. I can't bring it up because it's not part of my vocabulary. But the word is like when you look upon somebody that's doing something that you want to do, that you look upon them like, yeah, you doing it, instead of looking at them with some sort of jealousy.
Compersion.
I can't. What?
Compersion is the word.
That word.
Compersion.
Compersion. Like instead of compassion, it's compersion.
And that's a new word in my vocabulary. I didn't know that.
Same.
What does that mean? Compersion?
I can give you an idea. What it meant is
I could
what
look
it
it
was.
up. Is it a real word
Right.
or?
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a real word. But it's
Okay.
like, when you see somebody that's doing something that you want to do, that you don't look at them con envidio. You don't look at
The
them con
opposite of
celos.
jealousy.
You don't look at them like that. But you look at them like, good job. Even though inside you're like, dang, I want to, but you don't come at it with that negative
Well,
energy.
right, no negative energy. I hear you.
Yeah.
I know the concept. I didn't know the word. And even if it's like like sometimes it could be like, something within, and you gotta just like shut that off. Like, no, we're not doing that. It's all good. We all have our talents.
And the more that we do that, the more that we will grow. As a whole unit, as a whole species, we're looking at the other person, and I'm not saying we like us. I'm talking just generally. Like a person could be looking at another person, and not thinking that they're creative themselves, looking at that other person's creativity and like, wow, I want to do that. I wish I had that. And then you see at the speed that they're succeeding because they're in line with their authentic self. They're in line with their ancestors. They're in line with their spirit. They're in line with their money manifesting. They're in line with, their organization. They're in line with their consistency. They're in line with how they put their message out. And you're not, but you want to be at that level.
So it's funny. You know why we don't know this word? Or at least it's more in the polyamorous community. So I put that up, and then I didn't realize that everything that came up underneath this word had to almost do with polyamory. There's no real definition for it in the dictionary.
That's where I learned it from. One of my friends who is in that arena.
Well,
And she shared it in the general sense, and it makes so much sense to translate it to business.
Absolutely. And thank you for that, because once upon a time I was in that arena, and Meredith could tell you, and we didn't use that word. But in order to be in a relationship where you have multiple partners, especially if they're living underneath the same roof, there has to be a certain line of respect and admiration. That you respect that person's individuality, and just a little TMI, and the pleasure that they bring and the love that they bring, that it's not the same like another person. And it really takes a different mindset to see that, especially when you grow up and it's one partner, monogamous. It's a sin. It's to change that mindset, to be like, what, I can love you and I can love you and I can be with both of you, but you both are individuals, yet I love you both, and there's no need for each one of you to be jealous one against the other. It's a very different world. And that being said,
I just found a general definition. I think it says freebase. definitions.net. Compersion. Compersion is an empathetic state of happiness and joy experienced when another individual experiences happiness and joy. It is sometimes identified with parents' pride in their children's accomplishments or one's own excitement for friends and others' successes. It is commonly used to describe when a person experiences positive feelings when a lover is enjoying another relationship. It is an opposite of jealousy. So the opposite of jealousy.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's nice because
like
it
that
gives
one.
all different frames of reference.
Yeah,
So
but it is important. It is important to have that because everybody's at a different level. You know, even me being here, you know, I'm a stay-at-home mom, right? So I say I'm a stay-at-home mompreneur because I'm still doing the stuff to take care of business. I'm just not moving at the pace that you're moving. You know, I'm not moving at the pace as someone that's maybe not married or married, you know, that doesn't have children, that's able to drive. I don't drive. I haven't driven in 21 years. So if you're able to move and to get to places faster, then I have to be able to get on the internet and stuff faster. You know, there's things that you have to be able to be comfortable with yourself where you are. And that's one thing that, you know, me being the oldest of my family, I try to share with my family members. Because when they look at me, they're like, look at, right? Branding. Look at your hair. Right now, my afro's not out. I got the twisties. You know, look at your hair. Tú no te haces el pelo. Look at your face. You know, you don't have your makeup on. Your nails are not done. Look at, but why are you wearing that sweater? It's so old, and that shirt doesn't have a brand, and this, that, and the other thing. Because I'm comfortable where I'm at. And then being comfortable where I'm at with my vision, with my internals, with my vision, with the steps that I'm taking to where I want to go. I know that once that is there, all those other things can come to me. That's easy. It's easy to buy the look. It's easy to, you know, fake it until I make it. It's harder to actually be it and work at that. No, I'm not faking it until I make it. I could clean up well though. To you, it looks like I'm faking it till I make it, but I'm just cleaning up well because, you know, that dress is appropriate for this event, but the other dress is a little too much. You know, it's all a part of, you know, making that decision. Do you want coffee? Do you want tea? No, I'm good with either one of those. I want water. You know, being innovative. That's all of that. That's what that takes. And it starts with you. Are you comfortable? For instance, a lot of people do not know that I have oral prosthetics. Boom. Oh. If you say that to somebody, there's a stigma. Automatically, I should have low self-esteem, right? Because of, oh, somebody looks at me, it's this way, it's that way. No, it's not. You got to be comfortable with where you at. A lot of people don't know the story behind that. I don't have to share that. So when you look upon me and you already have a vision upon me that's negative in that manner, that's on you. That shows your limit, your capacity to understand, your capacity and your limits in compassion, in growth. Because if we all say that we're coming from a place of love, we should have that compression, right? That, yes, sis. But a lot of people fake it until they make it, right? They'll tell you the words, yes, sis. And then behind your back, right, you got all these stabs. Once again, you are not for everybody. Not everybody is for your tribe. We can talk about happy, happy, joy, joy, all that we want, but we're not here to give you false positivity either. There are those that their job out there is to make you feel bad, is to make you not succeed. You have to level up. It's you. You have to decide that.
And we got to be mindful. I don't know if Kai has something después. So, and so
I
that's,
know I was doing that a little bit longer because Amar jumped in, so I wanted to give her little bits of nuggets and stuff because
yeah.
she did jump in and the time zone was different. So
All right.
please know that
It's
these things,
recorded though.
right?
It's
Thank
that
you so
time. It's that
much.
time. Like I said, Omar, we forgot we had daylight savings time. So we're ahead an hour and everything updates automatically as far as our clocks. So we knew what time it is. We forgot to let you know. It's recorded. You'll find it in the group. Next month, April 12th, 11/11. Oh, look at the little chingy baby.
Qué bello, qué bello. Bella, bella, ¿verdad? ¿Cómo se llama?
Munay.
Munay.
Yeah,
Me
it's a
encanta.
girl, Munay.
Ay, belleza.
Thank you, ladies,
Felicidades.
for your time. We're doing this again next month. Don't forget that if you have any questions, drop them in the group. One of us will get back to you. Do not hesitate. Do not be shy. Don't forget that you can go back, Amar, for anything that you missed. You can go back. All of the things are available in the group.
And
And
share your progress.
Please share your progress, because that's how we can help you best, is if we know what's going on with you, because then we can provide you resources. Next meeting, April 12th, 11/11. Okay. And we'll see you then.
bye, friends.
Bye.